60% of six-figure earners live paycheck to paycheck. More income, same empty account, every single month. The average American saves 3.8% of income. 3.8. Your salary is not the problem. Your system is. Income goes up, expenses match it, wealth stays flat. At $40,000 a year, take home is $2,700 a month. $2,700. Rent, groceries, utilities, gone. Every dollar at $40,000 matters more than at $100. Consumer debt at this level isn't just expensive, it's structural. Average credit card debt for 30-somethings, $5,800. That debt earns the bank 20%, not you. You cannot invest your way out of 20% interest. Kill the credit card balance first. That is the investment. Guaranteed 20% return. No ETF beats that. Step 2, $6,000. Your emergency fund floor. 3 months of expenses. That is the only buffer that matters. Without it, one emergency puts you back at zero. Every time. Save 10% of gross income. Not net, gross. At $40,000, 10% is $4,000 a year. Uncomfortable? Yes. Impossible? No. People do it every day. Roth IRA, $7,000 per year under 50. Tax-free growth. You pay taxes now. Never again on that money. Ever. Peter Thiel turned his Roth IRA into $5 billion. Tax-free. You won't hit $5 billion. You might hit $500,000. Tax-free wealth growing quietly. No one needs to know. Income is a ceiling. Skills break that ceiling permanently. Actuaries with credentials earn $150,000 median. The certification gap is the cheapest arbitrage in personal finance. More income unlocks every other strategy on this list. Every one. 40,000 is a starting line, not a sentence. Now the 75,000 level. Median household income in America. Take home at 75,000, 4,600 a month. The problem at 75,000 is the opposite of 40. You have enough to spend freely. That's actually the trap. Spending always finds the available room. Always. Parkinson's law of money. Expenses rise to meet income. Every time. Tracking kills the leak. Not willpower, tracking. The 24-hour rule stops 70% of impulse buys. Net worth. Not income. That is the real scoreboard. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what survives the spending. Median net worth in your 40s, $126,000. Fidelity says, have 1 times your salary saved by 30, 3 times by 40, 5 times by 50, 10 times by 67. Most people don't have a benchmark. They're flying blind. Coming up, the savings rate math that changes everything. Stay with me. The savings rate is the most powerful variable in personal finance. Not returns. To have $750,000 at 67 on 75,000 salary, here's the math. Start at 30, save 4.6% per year. That's it. Wait until 40 minutes now, you need 10.7%. More than double. Wait until 50, 27.4%. Nearly a third of gross income. Time is the actual investment. The money is secondary. A 3-fund portfolio. U.S. stocks, international stocks, bonds. That's the whole game. VOO tracks the S&P 500, 10.2% average annual return since 1957. VTI adds the entire U.S. market, small caps, mid caps, large caps. More breadth. Diversification isn't owning more, it's owning less of the wrong thing. SCHD focuses on dividend growth, 330 companies, low volatility. Automate your monthly transfer. Payday is the trigger, not willpower. Meet Alex and Jordan. Same salary, $75,000, wildly different outcomes. Alex automates 5% into a Roth IRA, buys VOO monthly, ignores it. Jordan gets a raise, upgrades the apartment, leases a new car, starts next year. Both are comfortable. Only one is building anything real. Your income is not your wealth. Your savings rate is. The best investment account isn't the highest return, it's the one you fund. If your employer matches 401k contributions, that is an instant 100% return. Not capturing the full match is leaving free money on the table. Literally, order of operations, 401k to full match, Roth IRA to max, then taxable brokerage. Tax advantaged first. Always. Every single dollar sequenced correctly. A 1% fee on $200,000 costs you $170,000 over 30 years. VOO costs 0.03% per year. Most active funds charge 10 to 30 times more. Over 90% of active fund managers underperform the S&P 500 over 15 years. Source: S&P SPIVA. You're paying more to underperform. That's the managed fund proposition. The envelope method. Cash in physical envelopes for each budget category. Spending stops when it's gone. Tactile money is psychologically harder to spend than digital money. Every study confirms this. Net worth target for your 30s. 34,000 median. Aim for double. The person with a 10-year-old Toyota and a $1 million portfolio is richer than the BMW leaser. Stealth wealth. The richest people in your city look exactly like everyone else. Looking rich and being rich are not the same financial condition. If this is clicking, hit subscribe. I break down this data every week. The 100,000 salary level. This is where it gets interesting. In a few scenes, I'll show you the number that ends the retirement guessing game. But first, lifestyle inflation is quieter than you think. At 100,000, your basic bills are covered. The danger is what comes next. Lifestyle inflation is silent. It doesn't feel like a decision. That's why it destroys wealth. The 2400 rule for cars. 20% down, 4 years max, 10% of gross monthly. On 100,000 gross, your monthly car payment cap is $830, no more. Most people finance freedom to look successful to people they barely know. Financial independence requires knowing your FI number. Most people never calculate it. Your FI number, annual expenses divided by 4%, that's the 4% rule. Spend $50,000 a year, your FI number is 1.25 million. That number is the target. Everything else is just the road there. At 20% savings rate on 100,000, you retire in 19.5 years. 30% savings rate, 15.9 years. Nearly 4 years faster. Every percentage point you raise your savings rate shortens your working life. Permanently. Now here's what nobody tells you. The real paradox at the 100,000 level. You think the problem at 100,000 is where to invest? It isn't. The problem is that 60% of six-figure earners still live paycheck to paycheck. Same broken habits. Bigger numbers. Different currency, same problem. Compound interest is not a math concept. It is a boulder rolling downhill. Slow first, then unstoppable. The boulder moves 1 inch in year 1. By year 20, it flattens everything in its path. 1,000 a month at 10% average return becomes 200,000 in 10 years. Over 30 years, the same 1,000 a month becomes 2.3 million, same contribution, different time. This is where it gets really interesting. The risk on allocation at 100,000. Allocate 1 to 10% of your portfolio to high conviction positions, not more. The core, 90%, stays in VOO, VTI, SCHD. Boring wins the long game. Use what you know. Industry knowledge is an edge most investors never leverage. Real estate syndication lets you invest in properties without becoming a landlord. Minimum typically 5,000. Bitcoin allocation, if you use it, 5% maximum. Asymmetric upside, real downside. But here's what nobody is telling you about the FIRE movement. It's not about retiring young. It's about buying options. The option to leave, pivot, or stop on your terms. The wealthiest feeling is not the number. It's not needing to care about the number anymore. In the next section, I'm giving you the exact step-by-step system. No theory, just actions. Here is the full system. Regardless of income level, it always starts in the same place. Step 1. Eliminate consumer debt above 10% interest before investing a single dollar. Step 2. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. 6,000 minimum. Step 3. 401k up to the full employer match. That's the return floor. Capture it before anything else. Step 4. Roth IRA to the annual max. 7,000 if you're under 50, 8,000 after. Inside that Roth, VTI or VOO. Set to auto-invest on the first of every month. Done. Step 5. If income is above 75,000, calculate your FI number and track it monthly. Annual expenses times 25. That's the magic number. Write it down right now. Step 6. Only after the above is funded. Then consider risk-on positions. Small, intentional. The sequence matters more than the instruments. In the wrong order, good investments still wreck you. A 30-year-old who saves $3,000 per year in a Roth IRA for 35 years has $640,000 at 10% return. The total contributed $105,000. The compounding did the rest. The boulder metaphor again. Your contributions are the push. Compound interest is the hill. Income jumps at $40,000. Recalibrate the system. Add to the Roth first. Always. Avoid the lifestyle upgrade default. The raise goes to savings first, spending second. Every time. The gap between who you are and who your money thinks you are, that is your savings rate. Alex is now 42. Portfolio 180,000. Jordan 12,000 in a savings account. Same salary for 12 years. One compounded wealth, the other consumed it. Jordan isn't stupid. Jordan just never had a system. That's the only difference. Every dollar you automate today is a day of freedom you're buying for your future self. Tracking net worth monthly removes the emotion from money decisions. It's just data. The IRS 2024 Roth IRA limit is $7,000. If you haven't maxed it, there's still time before April. Never put investments before the emergency fund. The market dips when life breaks. Always. Increase income at every level. Certifications at $40,000. Negotiation at $75,000. Side income at $100,000. Negotiating your salary once can compound over an entire career. A $5,000 raise at 30 is worth over $500,000 by 65. The QQQ tracks NASDAQ 100. Higher growth potential, higher volatility, only for the long-term portion. Rebalance annually, not monthly. Overtrading is a tax event and a performance drag. Federal Reserve data confirms this. Social Security covers about 40% of pre-retirement income on average. The rest is yours to fund. You are not building toward a number, you are building toward a choice. The boulder is almost at the bottom. Wealth is quiet. It doesn't wear logos, it doesn't lease status, it compounds in silence. The savings rate that changes everything at $75,000 is 15% of gross, $312 per week. That $312 a week invested in VTI from age 30 reaches $1.3 million at 65. Not a side hustle, not crypto, not a lucky stock pick, just consistent, boring, automated investing. Now let's resolve Jordan's story. It's not too late at 42. Here's the math. Jordan starts today, saves 15% of $75,000 from age 42. At 67, $480,000, less than Alex, but it's not nothing. It's a funded retirement. The system still works late. The worst time to start was 20 years ago. The second worst time is tomorrow. 3 actions you can take today regardless of income. Open the Roth IRA. Automate the transfer. Track your net worth. The 3-fund portfolio works at $40,000. It works at $400,000. Same principle, different scale. Don't optimize the instrument before you've built the foundation. Foundation first. Every time. Jordan implements the system at 42. Eliminates debt in year 1. Emergency fund in year 2. Roth maxed in year 3. The boulder is now rolling. Same person. New system. Different outcome. Alex at 65.